Happy Monday. Hopefully y'all are having a wonderful Aries season so far. It's definitely came in hot, I'll tell you that much. It's been quite an interesting series of events here for me, but I'm excited. It's time to go for the gusto. And it's the last Monday of March, believe it or not. So that's kind of, I don't know what's happening. time is literally collapsing, which is fine because that allows us to actually be more in our, I want to say our innate rhythm and flow that helps us to live more in balance and harmony with nature, since we are a part of nature. And so I think that is pretty cool in a way, the disillusion of linear time. That also means, you have to take more accountability for yourself in different ways, and how you manage your time. So with that being said, we'll go ahead and get started. My cat has been here in my sound bowls. I don't know why I always end up, if y'all followed me at Phoenix and Dragon bookstore, I don't know why I always end up with a gray and white cat that likes to sit in my meditation space. So hopefully I'll be seeing if I can find a physical location soon. I do have some things moving and grooving and shaking behind the scenes. But with that being said, on this last Monday of March, and right before the new moon, had a card fall out, so we'll just go with that one. Ooh, boundaries. All right. Love yourself enough to say no to others' demands on your time and energy. Okay, that is right on time. So, with Miss Ishtar here, she is worshipped and invoked since ancient, or has been worshipped and invoked since ancient Babylonian times, as the embodiment of Venus's womanly energy. I like that. Ishtar represents the divine feminine in all her aspects, including nurturing, mothering, sensuality, fertility, healing, protection, and wisdom. As a multi-dimensional goddess, Ishtar does entire upon helping men and women who call on her for assistance. So that is pretty cool. She is not biased, she has all this feminine energy, but she's willing to help the divine masculine as well as the divine feminine. And so, yeah, I think that's pretty cool. We have different aspects of the divine feminine. You have Kali, who's all about destruction, endings, beginnings, chaos, but not necessarily a bad way. Sometimes when things are being uprooted in our lives, it can seem chaotic because we're trying to control things so much. And then we have more of like the softer side of the divine feminine. Kuan Yin would be one of those goddesses about love and compassion. I find that Ishtar is actually a great middle she creates a nice space within all of that, I feel like. So asserting yourself, saying no to others' energy, and honoring your boundaries, I find, is a way of being more assertive. You don't necessarily have to be aggressive to get your point across, but definitely tactful and assertive. Remember, sometimes it's more wit than brawn. But I also like the fact that this also speaks to loving yourself, and honoring yourself. So she's a good balancing goddess, and as a Libra ruled by Venus, I appreciate that. So so let's go ahead and get into it. All right, let's go ahead. If you have not already, just allow yourself to eventually settle into your space, softening your gaze, closing your eyes as you take a few deep breaths. And for just these breaths, allow yourself to breathe at whatever rate or depth is calling for you or feels natural. Just allowing that breath to deepen, shifting your focus from that of your physical surroundings, bringing that focus within. allowing yourself just a moment to slow down and to check in with all that is going on within, noticing where you are in your thoughts, quality of your thoughts, allowing yourself to flow down into your emotions and just noticing your emotional currency this evening, this afternoon, acknowledging how you've arrived on multiple levels spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and physically. And on the next inhale, you'll expand the belly as you breathe in, expanding the heart space, allowing the breath to come up into the mental space and the crown. And then as you exhale, allow this flow to reverse, feeling the lungs drop and release as you squeeze out all that air, even through the bottom of the belly. Inhaling, expanding the belly once again, the heart space, the mind, allowing yourself just to fully open up and receive. As you exhale, reversing the flow, releasing and surrendering completely. Taking just a few more breaths in this manner, helping you to shift your focus even more, deeper within, relaxing, eventually bringing that flow of breath back to a rhythm that's comfortable and fluid, smooth, steady. And with all that may be happening around you in your physical space, in the world around you, in the cosmos, just see if you can gift yourself a moment to just be still. Can you center your focus and your thoughts? Allow your emotions to just move more fluidly as you observe, just allowing yourself to be in this moment, witnessing this moment without judgment, with compassion and neutrality. Just breathe. an open mind and an open heart. Begin to sense or feel, see or notice this divine cosmic energy, the aspect of creation known as the divine feminine. And from her essence above, she'll begin to pour down into you, filling your entire body from head to toe with her beauty and grace, her strength, her love, her wisdom, her guidance. You feel every cell of your body receiving this essence, awakening you to the divine goddess that you are. Allowing yourself to simply be receptive, open to change, connected deeply within to your intuition. Perhaps setting an intention for that which you wish to receive this evening. From the divine feminine, as we take heed to her message, asserting our boundaries, loving ourselves enough to enforce these healthy boundaries, as we take ownership and responsibility for our time and how we invest our energy. See, many times as women, we love to give and to be of service, to help others. It's natural for our innate ability of creativity, inspiration, being the nurturer, being compassionate and empathetic. And a sincere desire to give and be of service is admirable, purposeful. But make note, there is a distinction between giving of yourself, sacrificing yourself to be of service. Notice in what ways you may sacrifice yourself to be of service to others. This may feel like being obligated, wanting to say no, but people pleasing and choosing to say yes indeed. Instead, abandoning yourself, your needs, your desires to uphold or appease another. Doing things that simply don't feel good because you're supposed to. That's what's expected. Perhaps others have entitled themselves to your time and energy, and this has become the norm in that relationship. You see, every time that you give and you begin to feel tired, guilty, resentful even while helping others out, and truly, are you being of service? In doing these things out of resentment or anger, guilt, shame, or manipulation, you're simply injecting negativity not only into the relationship, but into your psyche. By not acknowledging how you truly feel, and in doing so, the other person may win, their needs may be met, but at what cost? You are valuable. Your gifts, your time, your presence is an asset to all those you choose to share that with. And therefore, there should be some form of return, physically, karmically, or anywhere in between. But when you step back and reassess the situation, and you respect your own boundaries, what feels right for you, others will begin to recognize and respect them as well. And from here, you've become a light, teacher, an example. And that, indeed, is healthy behavior, a healthy way of being that empowers others, teaches others, uplifts others, shows them different, better way of living. In this season, from the sign of Aries, you may find yourself more passionate, more instinctive, more creative, more direct. Perhaps you begin to notice you have more stamina, more willpower to move in the direction of your dreams. But although this season can be also identified with aggression, dominance, as the embodiment of the divine feminine, we have the innate ability to see the bigger picture, to add more grace, more tact, more beauty, more love. Our creativity, our imagination helps to see things from a different perspective and to make an intuitively informed decision, thus asserting ourselves, but not within the masculine realm of aggression, but within the realm of grace, flow, trust, and divine timing. As we lovingly assert ourselves and our boundaries, we create a stronger foundation, a more authentic platform for ourselves to fully show up and be seen, heard, take a moment to notice what areas do you feel as if things or the relationship may be imbalanced. Are you giving more than you're receiving? Are you taking more than you are giving? As you check in with various areas of your life or relationships, and apply these questions to those relationships, simply receiving feedback of whether you are giving, receiving more. Are you in balance in this space, in this place? And if so, no need for judgment, but how can balance and harmony be restored in that relationship? Do you feel appreciated, loved, celebrated? Do you feel taken advantage of, or perhaps relinquishing your power to another? In those areas, how can you step up, speak up for yourself, stand up for yourself? Maybe you take a moment, just allow the mind to wander, looking at some of your past relationships where you may have felt taken advantage of, used, abused, not seen or heard. Maybe you relinquish your power to someone else in hopes that it would make them do, feel, or act a certain way. Do you give from a place of fullness? Are there times where you gave from a place of hope or from a place of manipulation? There is no judgment in this space. You're simply reflecting and gaining feedback so that you can heal and clear that energy and restore the balance and power within yourself. As women, I know that there has probably been a million times in your life where you did things out of obligation. You did things because you wanted to be a good girl, a good woman, a good person, good mom, sister, friend, daughter. But when you did those things out of obligation or out of fear, out of threat, notice how it made you feel. And it is safe and okay for you to go back there and to explore so that you can simply take the feedback. Maybe say to yourself, no more will I abandon myself. I love myself. longer need to give in to manipulation in order to reach my goals and dreams. I can simply speak my truth with conviction, knowing that my truth has a frequency, a vibration, a resonance. And when I speak my truth, I create an opportunity for energetic rapport so that those who hear me can hear me clearly. I am ready to be seen. I am ready to be heard. I am here, loving myself, showing, teaching, through honoring my boundaries. Others can love themselves too in this way. Breathe. And see if you can tap into a sense of liberation and freedom. Letting go of those holds from the past that may have kept you playing small or manipulated, taken advantage of. Maybe you feel a sense of power, sense it coming back to you. Cutting those ties, those energetic cords that have kept you stuck or in this pattern of having to sacrifice yourself. And maybe you notice that energy from those past circumstances or relationships coming to you. Anchoring into your heart space. Perhaps you call it all back into your solar plexus, area just below the rib cage and above the navel. Feel your power coming back to you, the heart and the solar plexus. Allow these areas to soften as you receive. All the blessings that come to you, calling your energy, power back. Relax the space between the brows. Relax your jaw. Relax neck and shoulders. Allow your entire body to soften. Just breathe. Just another moment or two as you continue to stroll down memory lane, visiting all the spaces and places where you relinquished and gave up your power. Your truth was not heard, your voice was squelched. And as you send love and compassion to yourself in those moments, the aspects of you that agree to those circumstances on some level in some way, maybe you begin to notice how you got there. Maybe a childhood memory comes up. Maybe you were bullied or reprimanded, embarrassed or shamed for speaking your truth, saying something unique or different, showing up unique or different. What are some of those experiences that made you feel small, unseen, unimportant? Breathe and exhale. You can let that go. Held on to that situation, that way of being long enough. It's time for you to step into the truth of the power that lies within you, to assert yourself, to take leadership and accountability, responsibility for yourself. And know that this is a process. It is a practice. Just like meditation and yoga and playing piano and everything else, it is a practice. Every time you begin to feel yourself caving in, giving into situations, circumstances, people that just don't feel right or feel good, you'll remember to take a breath, give yourself that loving kindness, that permission to say no. It may feel awkward. You may even feel bad for saying no. That is okay. That angst, that awkwardness, that anxiety is simply old programming that is ready to be released. The more you exercise speaking your truth, the easier and easier it becomes, the more clear you become, not only in your boundaries, but who you are. You become more aligned with that of your higher self. And from here, this place of truth and authenticity, align your thoughts, your words, your actions that of your moral integrity, your desires, your truth. Eventually, saying no begin to feel good because you begin to rewire your brain and your emotions so that asserting yourself and speaking your truth comes from a place of deep peace and unconditional love for yourself. You begin to deepen your awareness of the subtle emotional energies that move through you, thus connecting you deeper to your intuition, that voice within. You begin to hear her clearer. You begin to communicate more efficiently with that voice within and that of your higher self. Begin to understand the power of using your voice and the words in which you speak. On the next breath, you'll shift your focus to current, present day circumstances or relationships. And notice, where has this habit of saying yes when you wanted to say no still occurring? Where are you still doing things out of obligation versus desire? What are some situations that no longer serve you, yet you continue to show up and to give? Can you give yourself permission to accept change in those areas? Forgive yourself where it's needed. Love yourself where it's needed. Send love wherever you feel it's needed. When we consciously become aware of the situation or circumstance, a habit or a pattern that is outdated and no longer serves us or continues to keep us from truly experiencing joy and happiness and bliss that life can offer, that awareness is an opportunity to elevate our perspective, see things from a higher perspective, maybe even find some amusement in the situation. Can you find amusement that once again you said yes when you wanted to say no? Can you find amusement in showing up for something time and time again, knowing that it is not what you want or desire? Just explore that so that you can elevate your emotions surrounding that particular situation, relationship, or circumstance. And then from this elevated state, you can ask for assistance, divine intervention, resolution, opportunity for change or shift to happen that serves all involved, including you. Various meanings and interpretations for this evening's message of boundaries. You have been giving too much of yourself. If it resonates, it's simply an opportunity for you to create change. If it doesn't resonate, celebrate yourself for honoring your boundaries and not relinquishing yourself. Second meaning is to become more assertive. Sometimes it can feel safe to play small or be behind the scenes, to not be in the spotlight. That doesn't mean you have to necessarily step out onto the main stage just yet. I know that can sometimes be a little scary and intimidating. But maybe you can find a graceful little loving spot in between. Maybe you can just send that email instead of avoiding communication. Send that email or text. Make that phone call and just say, no, not today. No, thank you. This is not for me. Maybe you can become more assertive by saying and finding clarity in what it is that you truly desire and speaking up for yourself, saying, this is what I want. This serves me, this does not. And then not backing down, owning your truth. yourself permission to have what it is that you want. The uncertainty, the clarity just simply creates cosmic confusion. It's like you put in an order, you got the tracking number, but it showed up at the wrong house. How can you express yourself more clearly and more confidently? And just let that be. Third meaning for tonight's message is to no longer do things out of guilt or obligation. That version of you cannot support you moving forward in the direction of your dreams any longer. Love her, grieve her, and let her go. It's safe for you to be powerful. It's safe for you to speak your truth. It's safe for you to have clear boundaries. It is safe for you to exist without the validation of others. It's time for you to truly vibe and thrive at your highest. And so, in order to do so, love yourself first. Be your own best friend. Be the mother to yourself. Be the mother to your inner child that you wish you had. Nurture yourself. Forgive yourself. Embrace and love all aspects of yourself. And soon, that bright, prosperous future version of you will be who you are now, today. You are her. And so it is. Slowly, gently, take a deep breath once again. And begin to bring some movement to the physical body, rolling through the neck, shoulders, rubbing your thighs, maybe you're doing some hip circles, giving yourself all the love you've given to others. Breathing that in, holding that for yourself. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. I'm out of meditation. right. Hopefully, y'all are coming back. Not already. Thought that was a it's pretty good meditation, you know? Pretty good meditation, if I do say so myself. I think that was definitely much needed. Thank you. Thank you. And that was definitely needed, especially because that was my thing with Aries season, it felt like a jump coming out of Pisces season. Pisces kind of like, hippie, a little bit mystical, and floaty, and dreamy, and all of a sudden it's like, all right, rude awakening, time to get real, get shit done. I was like, whoa, slow down. Okay. Slow down, universe. And so I realized as women, though, we have that ability, right, to flow a little bit more. When things are a little chaotic, we can kind of step back and be like, this is not for me. But even still, like I said, I think this is a great message for embracing the fiery, passionate energy of this season, Aries season, but also you don't have to necessarily be in that masculine energy of dominance and aggression. I'm gonna make things happen, push through, I'm just gonna headbutt my way in through everything. We don't have to do that. Okay. As women, we have, they say brains versus brawn. So as women, we naturally have, I won't say naturally have more brain, but we typically don't have naturally that much brawn, right? Because on a genetic level, that brawn is testosterone. We ain't got a whole lot of that. So we need to work with what we got. And with that being said, women were able to be this creative force. We see things differently. I was actually having this conversation with a friend of mine the other day about as women, it's natural for us to create, right? We create not necessarily physical things, but simply sometimes we create the opportunity or the space or the feeling, the vibe. And it can also be physical. There's a saying that, a woman, whatever you give a woman, she multiplies, right? So if you give her, or she multiplies, or she, enhances, I guess would be a better way to say that. So you give her a house, she makes it a home. You give her a bunch of groceries, she makes food, meals, all that kind of stuff, right? You give her sperm or semen, she can birth a child, a new creation. But if you give her any shit, okay, that's where that Kali or Kali aspect of the divine feminine comes in. You give her any shit, she's going to unleash a force onto you, that can be a little unexpected, I'm sure, for some. But just because it wasn't expected doesn't mean it doesn't have any validity to it. Okay, so when it comes down to embracing this fiery energy of Aries season, I think tact and skill go a long way than aggression, and being, mindful and intuitively guided as you move forward. So as you move forward with intuitive insight, that connects you to a source of wisdom, that can provide you even more clarity, more guidance as you move forward, So we know that the masculine energy is very linear thinking. Women and feminine energy is more expansive, more creative. So when you stay aligned in that within you, right, then what happens is you're able to receive communication, that insight, that guidance from a higher perspective, meaning you can see a bigger picture. So now you know how to make certain steps today that can fulfill your future goals, future purpose with more ease. Does that make sense? So that is the collective message and reading that I have, is to practice saying no and just notice what it feels like every time you have to say no or no thank you. But make it a practice, one little no at a time. And if no feels too abrupt for you, sometimes things are just a no. Sometimes it's just like no. But saying no thank you, the Libra in me likes to make it like, I want everybody to still feel okay, I don't hurt no feelings. But no thank you, that's my way of gracefully declining something. Just no thank you, even if it's a BS. I'll just no, thank you. And I'm graceful, and but I've said no, and it makes me still feel feminine, but it gets my point across. Okay, so and if it's a situation that can be kind of my experience, if it's a situation that can be kind of emotional or even like volatile, I realize just saying no, thank you for some reason kind of like lessens the impact. It doesn't fire that person up. If I say, no, because I don't like this and I don't like that, then I'm in an aggressive space, right? And the person can sometimes obviously get defensive, and now we're combative, and all this, and we're trying to manipulate. Now you got this power struggle, that fire energy, right, from the solar plexus. Now you're in this power struggle. But I just find that if someone's like, I want you to do this or do that, or like you need it, and I'm just like, no, thank you. And I find that when I say that, it kind of gives an elevated level where I don't feel like I'm being petty. I don't feel like I'm being um, untruthful. I don't feel like I'm being inauthentic, anything like that. I'm just using more wit than brawn, right? And tapping into that feminine energy of just saying, no, thank you, and gracefully declining. So. Cool. So I'm going to turn off this recording and we will get into the personal readings for this evening.